welcome to Shoe Tree Podcast. I am Andy Harrison, and I am here with Dr. Beergood.
Hello.
I'm here with Paul, not Jeff, Paul Young, and we're here with Ryan, and we're starting a podcast because we just want to let you guys know what's going on with Shoe Tree, and the idea is just us kind of hanging out, shooting the shit, and explaining what we do and things that are coming up in the future. And today we got Bauer with us because we're opening up a new spot, and we're going to talk about that today. So let's just jump into it. What do you think?
Yeah, we're sitting here at the new spot. What
do you guys think about this
close.
Artwork behind us?
Yes.
Get the sneak peek
Senior
of this
Harrison.
wall right here.
So, Paul, tell us what is going to happen, or what's happening in the Shoe Tree news, or kind of how you guys started, and then we can get into what's happening.
Yeah, so me and Jeff started homebrewing probably 10 or 15 years ago now, just in his garage, and really just loved the process of making beer and doing that. And then we got into it, even like just our homebrew would have labels and ideas and brands, and it quickly grew into what if we had our own brewery one day. And so we started taking the steps to try to make that a reality.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like the seed that Shoe Tree grew from.
What steps were those, Jeff?
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. No. The steps were, I guess, basically one of us needed to learn how to brew beer professionally, and one of us needed to learn how to run a business. And I did not want to be the one to learn how to run a business. So, since Paul's the little brother, he got to learn how.
So when you guys were like deciding, like how did it come about that you want to brew beer? Were you guys like beer lovers, or were you just like, hey, I wonder how to make this?
You know, it started out, was that Thanksgiving?
It was
Some
some
sort of
birthday
family
or something
function.
at Mom's house, yeah.
And I don't remember what it was. You know, actually the idea of the beer came first. So like a brand came to me like when we were little, we went camping out in the Ichthyosaurus State Park, and they had a little nature trail. And on
Shout out Icky.
Yeah, and Great Basin.
Hey, that's the name of my dog.
Ooh, that's a good name.
Icky.
Okay. They had a little nature trail, and on that they had this plant that was called Mormon tea, and it's essentially like a North American ephedrine species, and but for whatever reason they called it Mormon tea because the Mormons were allowed to drink it because they have pretty strict rules, and caffeine was one of them. And they used it for like a little pick-me-up or whatever. And I thought, man, how funny would that be if you made a beer out of that, but it was Mormon, like they can't. And then the slogan was like, 4 out of my 5 wives prefer its taste. And so the whole brand came first, and then we were like, can you make beer out of that? Like we didn't even know anything about it. So that's when we just started, I think, probably Googling stuff.
Yeah, it was like, can you make beer at home? And we were like, making beer at home. And then we found like Northern Brewer was like a homebrew website, and we like ordered a kit, and then
Did you try it? Did it turn into kombucha?
We actually
Never
never brewed
I've never made
beer.
a kombucha before.
Well, because
full
isn't there
disclosure.
like polygamist porter? Or
Yeah, that came out and
that
sort
came
of
out,
like
and
that was already, you know, when you think you have an original idea, but somebody else has already
But it's
done
not
it.
really the same.
A little bit.
no,
still
it
do
was
it.
just like, it was weird because it got us going. And then we found the Reno homebrewer and did like an all grain how to brew class.
And shout out to Reno Homebrewer. They've been there forever.
Yeah.
A ton of brewers in this area have started as home brewers and probably started
been
out
there
going
and
to
Started at that shop.
They've helped me out so many times in a
Yeah.
bind, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we designed, then we started designing like a brown ale we were super into, and then it snowballed.
Hello? No, nobody's here. Somebody is here. Hey, welcome to the
Bobby
show,
Mumbles.
Bobby Mumbles.
Hey, Bobby Mumbles.
Special guest.
That's creepy.
Special guest Bobby Mumbles.
Give this boy a microphone.
Bobby Mumbles.
And little does he know that
We don't have any
we've
more
purchased a tube of terror, and he will be eating that tube of terror right
Little
now.
does he know we bought the rights to BobbyMumbles.com.
Okay, just kidding.
All
No.
right.
Anyway, so let's.
So yeah, we just started brewing at home, and then like Jeff said, it was like, okay, how do we take this to another level? I went to business school at UNR and got a business management degree and a minor in entrepreneurship, which was super helpful because I essentially wrote a business plan and did all my projects on brewing, as known as the beer guy, and the business school at UNR. And when I was finishing up school, Jeff started working at a brewery in Carson City, High Sierra. And when I got done with school, they needed a helper. And so I came on board, and Jeff had been working there, I think, about a year when I came in.
Yeah, but you were working for free for a long time, right?
Actually, not that long. About a week, and then
Oh, really?
maybe 2 weeks.
Oh, I thought you were there for like 6 months,
No.
just plugging away.
No, I mean they didn't pay me a lot when they first started paying me, but
Right.
it definitely wasn't for free.
Yeah.
It was at first. What gave me, I don't even know if it was the courage, but just gave me the opportunity to do that was the fact that work was so slow. It was that.
Oh yeah, that's
What
right.
year was that? The big recession or
When
whatever.
the housing crisis.
Yeah,
thing,
the big
right? Yeah.
housing crash. And so I was unemployed, and I was like, man, I'm just going to go volunteer at any brewery that will let me to try and learn whatever I can.
Can I stop you for 1 second?
Mm-hmm.
Your voice sounds so good on this thing, dude.
I was sick.
You have got
Velvet
a
smooth.
radio voice.
Radio
I should
voice.
be a radio host.
Anyway, sorry. I just had to say that.
It's a good
Yeah,
thing
well,
you have
where
a
was I?
podcast
No.
now.
You were working for free for a week.
Oh yeah, or 2 weeks or whatever, but essentially just came in, but busted my ass every day. I was hungry. I wanted to learn.
Yeah.
I didn't care if I got paid or not. It was just learning how they did it on that size and that scale. And like every day, Paul lived with me at the time, so he would come home from school. He would have questions. I would go in every day with just a list of questions, and that was the main goal of that. But I worked hard. Didn't take long before they offered me a job. Started out, I think, probably about minimum wage,
Yeah.
and then quickly worked up from that though, and then before you know it, I think the defining moment. I worked there. What were we there for? Probably about 2-3 years when we won that medal.
I came on in 2011,
So
Oh, you worked there too. That's right.
Yeah.
and I'd been there for about
So
a year.
that's
and
when
won
we-
it in 2012.
So you guys needed help, and
yeah, that's a good.
Did you
tie-in.
know Bauer before?
Yeah, I grew up.
Oh,
me and
that's
Gr-
right. You guys
yeah.
went
Me
to school
and,
together.
Bauer grew up together.
Yeah.
Played football together from elementary school.
So what were
all the
you
way up.
doing before that?
I was selling RV parts.
Okay.
For a
and you
long
just
time.
came into brewing just.
I like drinking beer, and was going to beer festivals, and that's when I saw these guys at the beer festival up in Reno. Asked them if they needed some help, and they gave me a working interview for about a week and a half, and then was off to the races.
That's
Same
cool.
thing, getting paid dirt cheap, and
Yeah.
just trying to learn the industry. And
Yeah.
man, we have learned the industry pretty well.
That's crazy.
it.
That's cool.
Yeah,
It's
we
been a long
jumped in
time.
head first.
So then let's jump to how Shoe Tree started.
Mm-hmm.
That ended, and then you guys were like, "F this, we're doing our own thing."
Yeah, it ended. I think right before it ended, we were fortunate enough to get a gold medal at the GABF,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
and that
What was
that's-
that beer?
That was the
Busby
Busby
honey,
honey.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
which was like basically like a blonde ale brewed with honey, and we got a gold for that in the honey specialty
Me
category.
and Butler made that label, bro. I made the background
good color choice.
Yeah.
yellow.
Black and yellow.
Really good color
Kind of
choice.
pops.
Who knew?
So yeah, we win a medal. That just goes a long ways towards our credibility.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
once that happened, it wasn't really hard to find people to invest, and we kind of had already started buying little pieces of equipment here and there. And
Yeah, I remember you selling your Dodge.
yep.
And I was like, what? You're like buying brew equipment. I'm like, you guys are committed.
Yeah,
This
real,
is
man.
awesome.
We're in a dealership and they're like, we'll write you a check for this today. And I'm like, okay,
Wow,
this is happening.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We
dude. That's
we
awesome.
both sold pretty much everything we own.
Yeah.
And it definitely was the scariest thing I ever did, but
Yeah, my mom was pissed. She's like, I had a 401k from working at the Boys and Girls Club. And she's like, you cashed it out? I was like, it's not my dream to have a 401k.
Yeah, we're going to San Diego to pick up some equipment.
and that was cool too.
Yeah,
most
what-
stressful
who did you
drive
guys
back
buy
from
that
San
from?
Diego.
We
A
bought
couple different. There's a guy who just
Life savings on the back of the truck, you know.
Oh god! But it wasn't like a brewery. A
There was
non-brewery.
one, Hillcrest Brewing.
out of San Diego.
It was actually supposed to be our hot side, and then we transformed it into some open top fermentation vessels. And then we bought some other fermentation vessels off of, I forget his name, but he basically would just buy and sell used brewing equipment.
Yeah.
And so we bought 4 tanks that used to be used for like the bottom of yogurt. They would contain the fruit for the bottom of yogurt, and then they could be pressurized, so it would like squirt into the yogurt cup.
Wasn't Sierra Nevada was all dairy stuff too when he first started,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, modified dairy equipment.
So yeah, those were kind of our first tanks, and what we had as our brew system when we were looking at locations. Like, we have a brew system, we just need a spot to put it.
Yeah.
And
I remember like rolling to your house and hanging out and just every once in a while more shit would be on the side there, and I'm
we
just
had to
like,
get a storage unit.
yeah,
oh,
yeah, we didn't have
remember
a storage
that.
unit at first. It was
Yeah.
just my yard and garage and
Yeah.
Yeah, we tossed. I think we
The
tossed
yard
some
at the
tanks.
rental, and you're like,
yeah, just some big old tanks.
put a tarp
right
over
on
that
the side.
thing. Don't look at that corner of the yard.
Weren't you guys looking at a warehouse and then the hot springs thing just kind of came to fruition?
Yeah, so Carson has a rule. So the zoning's kind of weird when it comes to breweries. If you want to be like downtown, you need it closer. Okay, sorry. If whoa. You're the one that moved it.
Okay, we're good.
If you want to be downtown, you have to be 51% restaurant. So we were kind of
okay.
looking at the outskirts, and Sassafras had moved out to the hot springs, so we're looking in their neighborhood.
We could do a whole show on that.
Yeah,
It was crazy.
probably about a 3 hour.
And looking at some warehouses across the street, we actually did what's called a major projects review, where every entity of the county comes together. And right after that meeting, Tony from Sassafras said, hey, the owner of the hot spring wants to talk to you guys about maybe putting a brewery here.
That's cool.
Flash forward, we've been there 4 years now.
That's insane.
Yeah.
4 official years.
Yeah,
Yep, open.
March 10th,
March
was
10th.
our anniversary. We soft opened, and I hadn't even quit my job. We were just soft opening.
You were doing well stuff still.
Yep, I was gonna brew just on the side. We opened that day, and there was a line out to the parking lot. Paul and I were like, "Oh shit!" And we haven't. It's been like that. Hit the ground running, and it's been like that for 4 years. It doesn't feel like 4 years. It feels
No,
like.
that's crazy.
And so, add on to that we've been opening this location for a
It's
year.
been a year.
Yeah. So
This location,
yeah,
Minden.
the Minden location.
We are in the Minden location, if
Yep.
we didn't say that yet.
I think we did.
yeah.
We're in the Minden location
Yes,
now.
yes, yes. I said that.
Okay, well, let's talk about Bauer. Where did you go after? What the hell was that brewery?
Yeah, High Sierra.
High
High
Sierra.
Sierra.
High Sierra. I keep wanting to say a different name.
Well, these guys were trying to keep the employee cost down at the original Shoe Tree, so I went to work at Great Basin for it was about 1.5 2 years. I think that's pretty much how long it took after we left.
After
the
we
other
left,
brewery.
it took about 3 years to get rolling.
So I worked on the canning line and then moved up to running the Victorian location where they do the rib cook-off.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
And was killing it up there. And when it was time, came back home.
Yeah.
I'm home.
It's pretty lucky.
Boys, I'm home.
Pretty lucky.
Well, it was always gonna be he was the first hire.
Yeah.
You know, like he got done a little bit dirty at High Sierra.
Yeah.
Luckily he landed on his feet at Great Basin, but he was the guy.
Yeah,
we
it was for the better.
Yeah.
So was
Sure.
Great Basin like good, like really good learning experience?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Crash course.
What did they teach you that these two couldn't?
Shout out to Dave.
Just more being in a busier
Yeah.
production environment, higher volume sales.
How
so
is
you're
there-
you're cruising
Yeah.
every single day at Great Basin. You're working your ass off.
So I thought that they did bottles. They did cans.
They were doing bottles, and they had just barely gotten a canner as I moved off of the bottling
Who'd
line
they
into
buy
the
that
brewery.
from? It was like the BB or
The
something.
Buck Bean.
Buck Bean facility, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make you start on the bottom and, unloading cases and
Yeah.
pulling bottles off the line.
So they were doing bottles, and then when they bought that canning, that's when they switched to canning because they're not doing bottles now, right?
They're
So-
still doing bottles, yeah.
Are you saying you started from the bottom and now you're here? Mm-hmm. That's amazing. I'm so
Someone
proud
should
of
write
you.
a song about that.
Yeah. Pretty metaphorical.
Well, I think we were all pretty close to bottom. I mean, we weren't like homeless or anything,
Right.
but we did not have a lot of things.
Yeah.
So, but shoot, we've been trying to open this place for a freaking year now, and finally we're super close and we're super excited. This is going to be Ryan's brewery, his little baby.
Yeah.
That's why we wanted to bring him in here and talk about it a little bit.
We're going to keep the diversity going.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have everything Shoe Tree's known for here, but now we're gonna have some extra abilities in that we have this small system here, and he can do some experimental stuff. He can do some really high gravity things.
Yeah, it's like a recipe incubator, pretty much,
So-
for development.
How did Minden start coming about? Let's talk about
Yeah.
why you guys wanted to come here in the first place and how you did.
Yeah, I'll let Paul speak to that.
So we kind of had when we originally wrote the plan for Shoe Tree, we had like a 5-year goal, and things kind of accelerated. We were busier than we thought, which was super awesome. But then also our idea of how we wanted to grow Shoe Tree changed, and we changed to, or evolved, I guess. We wanted to then have smaller or like satellite Shoe Tree locations. And we had looked heavily at Minden for the original Shoe Tree, which is Carson. A lot of people have been asking too. I just want to say Carson Shoe Tree is not going anywhere.
Here to stay.
It's here to stay. We'll be hopefully doing some cool stuff there too to help.
We've got some fun things in store for
Yeah,
the
for
Carson
Carson.
location
Yeah,
as well.
as we come out of this
Keep
with
it fresh.
the easing restrictions, we're going to be
Right.
pretty busy.
But yeah, so then we were looking like, well, where do we want to go next, or where do we want our first like satellite Shoe Tree to be? And you kind of look at Northern Nevada, and you're like, you got Minden sitting here with no brewery. They have a great population, just great like business things that you look at when you're looking at placing a spot. And so we started hunting for something that had some of the basic infrastructure we need to put a little brew system in. And we had checked out, I think, 3 or 4 different spots, and we found this one, and it had some stuff like a grease interceptor, big parking lot.
Yeah.
This was checking a lot of boxes.
yeah, a lot of
and,
upside.
The building owner, we got news that the zoning wasn't correct for a brewery, so we were kind of like, I guess we got to keep. And he spearheaded and got the zoning changed so we could be here, which was why it kind of took about a year. It was about 6 months of not knowing if we could even move into the spot. And so that's kind of how Shoe Tree Minden came about, was just wanting to grow and grow with spots where people can come and get a Shoe Tree.
Where were the other locations that you were looking?
We
Was there
looked-
anything serious, or was this always like, no, that's it?
We looked pretty serious-ish at there used to be a brewery out by the airport. We looked at that
okay.
location. There was an old, I think it was like a flooring store we went and
Yeah.
looked through.
Yeah.
And it was a good spot. The knocks against that were parking and having to put in a grease interceptor.
Yeah.
And then it was just saw a couple different restaurants had closed that we were looking at. And
I
this
think
one,
as far as cities go too, like we considered like North Reno, way north, and we also considered like east, like Dayton, or out into that area.
Yeah.
That just didn't flush out, but that doesn't mean so. We should say that like immediately after starting this Minden location comes, we're going to be looking for a production facility location, and so that could be anywhere. We don't even know yet. We're looking everywhere, just getting prices. We have a real hot lead right next door to the Carson City Brewery.
Yeah.
And so if that pans out, that would be really cool because it would just be right there and close together and just kind of easier to manage those two.
So the Minden location is you're right next door to the movie theater, right next to the DQ. If you guys know where that is, if you're listening.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's perfect. Got a little alley here on the side.
yeah, it's going to
put some
have
tables.
a ton. We're figuring like probably 15, 20 tables outside alone.
And
So-
I think once the restrictions are gone, people from the movie's going to be rolling over afterward. People, there's houses on east and west of this place. Like
New subdivision going in. Super easy access.
Even as they ease the restrictions, the tap room's actually bigger in here too.
Oh, is
than
it?
the Carson location?
Yeah.
Yeah.
doesn't look like it, dude.
We did. We did it very
It
well.
is definitely. It definitely is.
We made the most of that Carson location.
So why Bauer out here? What's the plan for that?
Well, he's
Just to get rid of him, or
No,
because
well, yeah, you know what I mean. It's like get out of my head.
Yeah.
No, I think it's because Bauer is a really good brewer. I mean,
Yeah.
he's on par at the same level as I am. So it's hard, when you're working with a guy that it's hard. Like, what am I going to tell him what to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He knows
Yeah.
everything.
right?
I like that model. We kind of call it our Wu-Tang model. So, like, I will gladly build up a brewer. Not that I built him up, but build one up, and we will start a location for him if he's serious and wants to do it and wants to run his own little satellite shoe tree. We'll do it. That was just kind of always the idea. Whether it was him taking over the Carson place and I go to the production facility, or however it worked out, he needs to grow. He needs to expand.
Yeah.
So
what's the brew system out here that's going to be? Did we talk about that? I don't think we talked about that.
no,
did we?
yeah, get into the size and
Yeah, we're working with a 1-barrel brew setup.
Okay, what is a barrel? Because when Mumbles was talking about losing 50 barrels of beer,
Yeah,
is
we
a
should give
barrel
some
a
perspective.
keg?
A barrel is 2 kegs, so it's 30.
Why do they do
31 gallons.
that? Is it because of the old wooden barrels? Is that
a
how there's-
barrel is an old archaic measurement that comes from, I believe, the UK.
Is it like the barrel that's in the tap room in Carson?
Yes, but that is not the tech. So that barrel is not a barrel
Okay.
as far as measurement goes.
Okay.
And in fact, so it's like I'm assuming that barrel size was a size a long time ago,
Yeah.
and that.
Yeah, our friends at Bentley are going to kill us because we can't remember the names of the different sizes.
Yeah, there's like a
To
ton
be
of different
fair,
stuff.
like when you say 2 kegs, that's 2 full size
Because
kegs.
when Mumble said 50 barrels, that's
Yeah,
100
you're talking about
kegs
100
of
100
beer.
100
kegs,
full-size
50 times
kegs.
31 gallons.
And to
Yeah.
the regular dude, we should have said that in your story, bro.
Well, you know what? I was thinking
100
about
kegs.
what would have been nice is just a little pop-up
Yeah.
that said a barrel equals 31 gallons.
Remember when you said he didn't need any pop-ups?
I know, though.
it wasn't good.
That was an
I
afterthought.
was impressed.
Okay, so you're doing a 5-barrel, or no, one
No,
We're
barrel,
doing a
out here.
1-barrel system.
which is 2 kegs.
Yep.
Yep.
But don't you have 2
2
kettles?
kegs a batch.
Don't you have 2 kettles out here though?
No.
No,
Got a
we only
mashed-
got one.
Got a
Mashed
mash
tun
tun and a boil
okay.
kettle.
See, that's
Mash
where I'm
tun,
getting confused.
boil
Yeah.
kettle.
and then a fermenter.
Yep. No hot liquor
And you
tank.
can put two kegs in that fermenter.
So talk
Or
a
is the
little bit
fermenter
about
bigger?
the
Yeah,
fermenter.
what-
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Size
So
fermenters
we're
are we
gonna
doing?
have to start, we'll have 2 1-barrel fermenters and 2 2-barrels, and then we can add an extra 1 barrel.
Okay, so you're not fermenting just 2 kegs. We're fermenting what?
Yeah,
a
so
lot.
we'll-
It depends,
he'll
but
be-
yeah,
Depends on
we
the
have-
fermenter
You
size.
can only
so.
brew 2 kegs, but you can put a ton in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can brew
double,
twice in the
triple
same
batch.
Two,
Okay.
you
So,
can
like,
brew as
for
many times
example,
in the day as you
Carson
got time, but
facility, we have a tank we brew 3 7-barrel batches
Okay.
into.
Okay.
for perspective,
But yeah.
And
we'll
then
do.
he'll also probably have a 3-barrel open top tank here.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he can do some fun like Belgians and
Yeah,
like
we're gonna get
kettle
weird. We're
sours
gonna
and stuff.
we're gonna have some fun yeast strains and funky ingredients.
So the
and
open
unique
top is
new stuff.
The open top is when you don't put yeast in. It's like wild yeast, right?
open top. So traditionally that would be one way you could do it. We
But you don't
prefer
do it
to
like that.
pitch. Yeah.
Okay.
Just because we like to control the yeast that's getting into it. You're
But
not sure about the flavors you're gonna get
Yeah.
from a wild yeast, so like without risking, that could be something we could do in the
Right.
future, but you have to risk
Right.
a certain
I
amount.
got you.
to
I
Figure
got
out whether that.
In the area, like the Bay Area, there's like really good airborne yeast there.
It's
that
known
they're-
for its
good.
sourdough.
It's known for
okay.
because
So
Oh,
they
yeah,
they
it
can
is.
they know with some relative certainty
Okay.
that it's going to be good.
But in Nevada,
We've
it's a different
heard
story.
some people isolating like a yeast from here, and it like is too funky.
Okay.
So we haven't had the guts to try it. But yeah, open top fermentation is kind of old world how it used to
Oh,
be.
right.
Yeah,
in like a
fermenting on
cellar.
cool ships with rooms dedicated to it that have
Yeah.
opening and closing windows, letting certain stuff in, and
Yeah.
So I don't mean to keep interrupting, but go ahead with
Mm.
what we were doing here.
Oh, you're good.
oh, that was it. So like a one barrel or two
2 1-barrels,
Those are
2 2-barrels.
and then that.
So you
3
kind
barrel.
of, we can get that 3 in, and then the glycol chiller we have, which regulates temperatures, could handle 1 more 1-barrel, just depending on how floor space works out.
So you're going to be doing super experimental stuff.
super experimental stuff. We've
Yeah,
got
so-
20 taps. We're gonna have a lot of variety here.
And do you think you'll ever can that stuff, or do you think it's like just in house?
Well,
tap?
that's kind of what we're looking at. Is we're gonna see what works
Yeah.
and then scale that up for production if it
Yeah.
is good enough. If we deem it good enough.
I
you
got
know?
a question for Ryan. What do you think the first beer of yours that you're gonna brew here is gonna be?
Let me get my list out.
He's
check
he's
here.
He's
prepared.
prepared.
Let's
That's
see.
good to know.
I'm going to make a milk stout.
Ooh, there's just a lot of good ideas here.
I heard tell of but you gotta choose
You
one.
gotta pick
While you're
one,
looking at
maybe.
that, what do you guys think about me going with just red eye full time?
I like Red Eye. I like Drew Doggy. I
Okay,
think you might
let's
have.
test this
about-
out.
Okay, wait. Just hear me out here.
Okay, sorry.
I think that you're gonna have like at least 9 nicknames.
All right, I'll take it. The other day, Jeff texted me. He's like, dude, they named a weed strain after you. I'm like, beans?
Yeah,
It's like, no, dude.
Tiny Hands
It was
Pearson?
Red Eye OG, dude. Yeah. No.
Okay, so let's test this out. Hey, what's going on? We're a Shoe Tree podcast, and I'm Red Eye.
I'm Red
Doesn't
Eye.
work.
Nah,
Doesn't
you're not a
Red
Red Eye.
Dog.
No, dude.
Listen,
Fuck
we
that
thought
beer.
of Red Eye because
Remember the
this
Red
freaking
Dog?
guy never stops drinking coffee all
He
day.
has a full-on like
And
pour-over
he
setup.
comes into
Oh, these
the
guys.
brewery with a box. Like
These guys made fun of me, and the very next day they're like, "Hey, can I get some of that coffee?" I'm
I
like,
have
"Yeah."
been using that pour over.
It's
quite
good.
A bit.
Okay, I just
I
took
have
the
to admit.
initiative. Okay,
You're right.
and I'm about
You know
to
what?
get a glass freaking pour over for us.
But that's where Red Eye came from because we thought, like, this fucking guy, he's never tired.
But everybody thinks Red Eye is like stoner
Yeah, or Red Eye, like, what's the
cowboy.
Like,
It's like
when
if
you
it's
get
a
your picture
red-eye
taken and you get
Oh,
the
yeah.
Red Eye. I
maybe
don't know.
Pink Eye.
Pink Eye Harrison. I don't know.
Pink guy or
My,
pink
middle,
eye?
my middle name is Guy.
It is
Pink Guy.
Pink
Andrew
guy.
Guy Harrison.
Yeah,
No,
orange
it's
guy.
not.
I swear to God,
Get your idea.
that was my great grandpa's name.
No shit.
Guy. Yeah. What's your middle name?
Charles.
Charles Bauer. What's yours?
Matthew.
Matthew.
Biblical.
I'm Paul. Well, it's Douglas Paul Young Jr.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Paul.
Paul.
Yeah, I know Paul.
Paul squared.
Confusing my teachers.
Paul squared.
All right. Does anybody have a time on this? 'Cause
Yeah,
we're gonna
we
need
are
a
at
2 hour.
31 minutes.
Oh, we're doing good.
Yeah, we're
I
doing
felt
fine.
like we were about
We're doing fine, man.
an hour in.
We're gonna have to we might have to.
Do we want to bring Bobby Mumbles
We might
in?
have to
Listen,
get. Hold
listen.
on.
Let me get this
We're
idea.
on
out.
Oh,
Bauer.
we got his idea.
We're on Bauer. Okay, sorry for kind
We
of
got
ruining your.
distracted.
It's okay.
Quit talking over everybody, bro. Okay? Have a little respect for
The
the
interrupter.
broadcasting. Yeah. Oh, what
You know?
the fuck, dude?
It's my favorite.
You know what?
I'm the interrupter.
Will you get me a cough button? And I can just silence everybody's mics but mine?
That's a good idea.
Put that on a list.
Cough button. Okay. First beer that
I'll
you
just cut Paul's mic.
Interrupter.
And he's done.
I do have buttons on here I can push. Go ahead, Bauer.
Well, I have a few ideas.
Whoa. No. We asked for one.
There's one fucking. You only get
There's
one.
one.
Maybe we can weigh
Well,
in
do I
on
need
this.
to? Okay, so
Let's
give us
weigh
a
in.
this
top
is what I
three.
thought voting.
Top three?
Maybe does it need to be super crazy to start, or can it be just a subtle, nice
Let's
little?
figure out what
listen to
Minden
this.
wants.
Let's check
This
it out.
is our
kind of beer.
gift to you, Ryan. It doesn't have to be anything except for the beer that you want to brew. That's it.
Well, that's pretty cool. If we're talking about that, then I like to keep it simple. I don't want to get too weird.
Kinda
I do
like this
have some weird
conversation.
ideas, but I just want to kind of make something nice and enjoyable. Something maybe that you can have after dinner. And I've been tossing that around
Sounds good.
this idea for a little bit. I want to make like a maple cream ale.
Ooh, that sounds real good.
Yeah, with
Whoa.
Slow clap, dude.
so that's
sorry.
that's my mild idea.
I need a.
Maple cream.
A maple cream ale. You get a lot of maple browns. I've been around a while in this industry, and I've had a lot of maple browns, maple stouts.
That sounds great.
I haven't really had any maple
I
cream
thought he was
ales.
going to be like, I've had this vision of this sour beer made with like a oat base and then just simply vanilla added to it. Nothing but
You know what?
vanilla.
That sounds pretty good. Where could I get a beer like that?
Oh, you know what? I just made that. I just made it.
Coming
okay?
soon.
Beer plug.
What about? Hey, I wanted to bring up like nitro. Are we ever gonna do nitro again?
See, and that's what I was interested in with this maple cream ale.
Oh God, that would be
Is
so
maybe
good.
doing some nitro.
I got a nitro tank at the Carson Brewery with your name all over
your
it,
name on it,
bro.
bro.
And a tap.
who?
I like
Mine?
that. I
No,
like that. Okay, now
for out here though. For out here.
let me give
it's-
you a crazy one.
Okay.
A honey chamomile white peach wheat kettle sour.
God damn.
Jesus. What is chamomile? It's like the tea.
Chamomile is like a sleepy time tea.
That
It's kind of
sounds like a
say
smooth.
that again.
excellent summer.
It's like
beer.
Say
a
that beer
velvety honey chamomile.
Okay.
Honey chamomile white peach wheat kettle sour.
Jesus.
So it's going to be fluffy. It's going to be kettle soured, but it's also going to be velvety smooth with that chamomile.
You know, I really like.
call
Lavender,
it-
maybe even lavender might be
call
in there
it,
too. That's a
Chamomile.
I really am liking this idea because it sounds busy.
sounds busy,
Chamomile.
but it's
But
going to
it's
be
not.
mild. They're mild flavors.
The honey is very mild, and that's going to be
Ferments
fermentable.
out, so it's you're going to
So
have a
you're
little hint of
essentially-
that.
Yeah, and just a little hint of honey, chamomile, and peach. Those go
White
together.
peach.
Yeah, white peach.
The good peach.
The best peach is white peach.
What's the other peach?
The regular tree peach.
There's an orange one and then the.
Yeah. I don't know if
I
what they're
don't know.
called.
I prefer white peach.
I prefer the white peach. Not
As opposed to the regular peach.
Not like right. They're just sweeter. I don't know.
this is taking a dark turn.
Listen, man,
no,
I think
it's
that's
not.
just your
It's not.
conscience speaking.
No, I'm just trying to figure out different kinds of peaches, guys.
Moving
That's
on.
cool. That is a lot of
we're
ingredients.
moving
though.
on.
Okay, third one. Third.
We're gonna have to chop that shit.
You guys have. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Just keep going. You fucking
What is the third
racist
one?
bastard.
See, I didn't bring race into it at all.
I know. Did I say that?
No.
Did that come through? On
What's
the
your
mic?
third one?
What? The white questions threw me off. I'm like,
Listen, I just heard you chuckling over there like a fucking third grader, and I knew what you were laughing about. Yeah. That's not what I meant, okay? God.
What is the third one? Were we gonna choose, right? What we think?
you want a
36
third one?
minutes.
Yeah. 36-minute mark.
What about a brown sugar oatmeal amber?
This guy with this.
I want to get some pastry stuff going,
Yeah.
but also some
Making me
nice,
hungry.
weird, fruity sours like, I don't know, just fun stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
I need an ingredient list to just
yeah.
throw a finger down, you know?
So the idea is, like, what if the maple is like a hot seller? Is that something you guys will be like, well, let's brew that
Yes.
at Shoe Tree and can it
Good
up,
call,
or
Andy.
Carson Shoe Tree and can it up?
Yeah, we're going to have to.
This is our incubator, so
Yeah,
that
so we just
he
kinda-
can work stuff out on a smaller level.
Yeah.
Especially you noticed that he's got some risky,
Yeah.
intricate beers, so it's able to work it out on a small level, and then once he's worked out those deets, he can give that recipe to me and everything he's learned from it. And
I've got some funky sour ideas. I just don't want to bore. And people get
No, it's all
nerdy with
good.
this, and
It's all good.
some people get over it pretty quick. When
I
they
think
get-
it'll be interesting because,
Yeah.
like, to me, like, those are weird
Yeah.
beers, and it'd be cool to actually go to a place and get that on tap.
But you know,
Yeah, and we'll be
also,
able to bring some stuff back that we've
he's
brewed in
gonna-
the past too. Like,
Yeah.
peppermint patty beer was pretty good
Oh,
seller.
yeah, I forgot about that.
he's got
We're
lots
gonna have
of
some
taps
fun.
to fill here,
Yeah.
and he's going to be having a lot of classic beers too. You
Yeah.
know, classic high gravity stouts.
But you're
Yeah.
gonna have some of your staples here too from Shoe Tree.
Yep.
Okay, so the idea is you're gonna have staples and then experimentals, and then we're gonna can. You're gonna have a bunch of can selections here too of
Yeah.
stuff that you're making it in Carson.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're probably, depending on how many beers we start out with, or if we drop handles or beers here and there, we'll pick up, local breweries and bring them on
Oh, okay.
draft here too.
Yeah, we're gonna have some guest taps here and
Yeah.
there.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Especially as we ramp up here,
Yeah.
get things going, see how this going. If we can fill some taps with some breweries,
with some
from-
other great Nevada breweries.
Yeah. Only Nevada.
We want to try and keep it at least, if not Nevada, close to us. So that there's obviously a couple of breweries like up in Truckee and Lake Tahoe.
Oh,
that we'd
yeah.
love
That's
to
pretty
get our hands
close.
on
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
of their stuff. So
Try and keep it as local as possible,
Yeah.
but there are some breweries that we would love to have on too that aren't local. But
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
yeah, honestly, if there was some sort of badass stone beer coming down and we could get our hands on
Yeah.
it, we'll get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what do you guys think about when you're opening? Like, we're in it, right?
Time frame.
And if you look around, we got
We've got some stuff to do. In
stuff
fact,
to do, but we've got a lot.
we're pretty
done.
close.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Hopefully, in the
close.
next 2 weeks, things start getting real with starting to bring the brewery equipment in.
Yeah.
Right now, it's kind of like those little shuffle games where you
Yeah.
have to move two pieces so you can move one piece.
Right.
That's kind of the shuffle we're doing right now.
Whoa,
so,
whoa, dude.
sorry, bud. Sorry, guy.
Hey.
Hey, sorry, gay.
Guy.
Guys want to start making fun of my name?
Pink guy.
All right.
So yeah, we're doing the shuffle. We're getting the floor sealed on Monday. So once that's cured up, we can start bringing brewery equipment in and getting it placed and putting everything together. So
We're gonna have a full selection of swag.
Oh,
We're gonna
yeah.
have pretty good
some
can
Minden
selection.
specific swag that you've designed for us.
Cool.
I like this hat right here.
Do you guys, do you think you're going to start with experimentals when you're open? Or do you think we're just going to have like some staples and then get into it?
That
guys thought
depends
about
on
that?
the timing of our brewery final approval.
Yeah.
So
There's gonna be some dialing in that we're gonna want to try, maybe
Right.
one or two.
That's what I was going to ask. Like,
Just
how
to
long
see
does
what
it
it
take
does.
to dial in?
We'll
Because it's a
probably
brand new
brew-
system.
probably have him brew a common recipe that we brew at the
Yeah.
Carson facility, and then we'll be able
Just
to
to
compare
just to
it.
dial in the equipment.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
okay. Like, what kind of dialing is there though? Like for an idiot like me, because
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a good
does
question.
it matter like what? Are we using the same type of pipes? Are we
That is a
using
good
different
question.
metal? Are we using does that even factor in, or is
there's
that?
several things that need to be dialed in. The most important thing is going to be like your efficiency. So when you mash in, you measure how much sugar you get. That's going to be your efficiency of that mash, and every system is a little bit different.
Yeah.
The grain plays a big role in that, but just depending on how his water temperatures are coming out, that thing, like when he mixes his grain with his hot water, what temperature does he get in this system?
Oh,
Because it's going to be a
gotcha.
little different than from the Carson system. So if you extrapolate that throughout the whole process, you realize there's just like 100 things that you need to check what the effect of doing this has.
You
on
got to
it.
check your water profile, make sure that that's right
'Cause
for
there's
the
a
style
different profile out
beer
here,
that you're
right?
brewing.
Probably.
There's,
Yes,
there's definitely a different
guarantee.
water profile
How do
here
you
than
guys,
Carson
like-
City.
How do you figure it out? How do you get your the shoehorn to taste the same here that it does there? Is
It's,
it just like figuring out the problem and
Figuring
Yeah.
out the water profile to match the Carson water profile that we're using
that's
for those
that's like
batches
the
of beer.
first step?
First step, you're trying to use the same ingredients, obviously.
First step, just match your everything as close as you can. Then second step is taste it.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
you're determining what's off. What's
Try to brew at the
different.
same temperatures that you've been doing it before.
But why would the temperature be different out here on this system? That's where I'm confused.
It can be because he has a shorter run from his hot
I gotcha. Yeah.
or tankless hot water heater.
Yeah.
It could be.
But when
like,
when he's mashing in, like in Carson, that he can get the temp the same as
yeah,
that.
but then you
but it's
imagine
the other stuff
right.
that
So like
might affect it.
the amount of surface of steel that he's
okay.
touching that isn't hot, so that's gonna cool it down quicker.
Yeah.
If his isn't,
Yeah, you're
have as
different.
much
You got different
surface area.
thermals going on.
It's just a ton of
crazy.
variables. Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially, you get
Then you
as
get
close
into
as you
boil
can.
efficiency and
That
how much fuel you're using to
Yeah.
actually fire that boil and see what temperature you're getting and seeing how much water is boiling off.
So yeah, your evaporation
Evaporation
rates.
rate. And
It's all important. It's all trying to get as close and tasting it. Then whatever's off, addressing that.
Yeah.
What causes that to happen, and then working backwards. So the scary part is you have to brew something,
Right.
and then
hope
figure out
you don't have
Yeah,
to throw it away.
Exactly.
Did you guys have to throw any batches to begin with in Carson?
Nope.
No.
We lucked out.
Yeah.
We started. There's two trains of thought when you start on a system. You can brew something that is going to show any flaw that occurs, like a blonde or a really light beer, because you can taste any flaws in those.
harder to hide those
Yeah, you
flaws.
can't hide something.
Yeah.
But that beer might, like, do you want to sell that?
Yeah.
If there is a flaw, then
Some breweries
so
do.
then right, or you can do something to maybe like an amber or a dark beer or an IPA where the hops or the dark grain help hide any off flavors. But then if you don't pick those up, you don't know how to address them.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're gonna brew a blonde,
Yeah.
and you're gonna find out. So we just started with a blonde. We lucked out. It was super clean, super great. We didn't have to do anything with our water profile.
Cool.
So that was easy. So you never know. This one could be a challenge, but luckily it's a small system. I
Yeah.
don't think it'll take us long to figure it out.
Yeah.
So let's talk about like what's coming up with Shoe Tree besides Minden. Now that we've gone over Minden, and what are
Yeah.
some beers coming up?
Couple beers coming. Like the one I'm most excited about is Wu-Tang Clan is on the horizon.
Right.
And if you don't know, that beer, that was just a beer idea I had. I kind of been messing with it for a long time, just like a beer made with root vegetables. And I kindly just settled on ginger, beets, turmeric, and carrots. And I thought it would be good in a sour base. Brewed it up. First time, we went ahead and entered it in the U.S. Open. and pulled a gold medal for it.
crazy.
So
It's awesome.
plus and minus of that is that we had only brewed a pretty small batch of it, and it
And the
went
U.S.
quick.
Open's a pretty big competition. That's
Yeah.
like number 3 that for the year that we all look forward to.
Yeah.
Pretty much
Definitely a
every couple
prestigious
years they
award,
do
for sure.
craft brew or World Beer
World
Cups.
Cup. Yeah. So
Got
Yeah.
Great American Beer Festival, World Beer Cup, and U.S. Open are the big 3.
and
So we've
that
won
was a big
gold medals
surprise.
in 2
Huge.
of the 3.
I mean, we knew it was good.
Well, because the other awards, have you ever? Because you've kind of refined your other recipes
Right.
to win awards, right?
This
But
one-
Rootang was like the first.
So, actually, I gotta give shout out to Wicked Shifty on that one because that one was like a first shot as well, and that one took bronze
yeah.
at Great American Beer
That
Festival.
beer was specifically designed for
Yeah.
competition, winning a competition.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so Rootang Clan whipped it up. It was so good. We're like, we needed an extra beer to send. We decided to ship that. Ended up getting a gold out of it. So we were scrambling to get it brewed again
Yeah.
to, get label made for it because we really want to pump it. And so you designed a badass label. We had a
I
cool
didn't.
concept. Oh,
Maddie.
Maddie did it. That's
Yeah.
right. And shout out to Maddie, by
Yeah.
the way.
Matt Lundahl.
So like, Andy does all our graphic arts. I mean, everything you see, he's touched. Even Maddie's stuff, I think you helped lay
I
out.
touch a
right?
little
I mean,
bit.
some things. So at least,
Shirts,
but what I'm saying is,
hats.
yeah,
Labels.
everything is Andy. So anytime I think of
But
artwork,
Maddie is our super
Illustrator,
custom
yeah,
guy.
like
Like,
he-
hey, we have this idea that Andy cannot draw.
That is
Will
one
you
thing
do
we
it?
get
Yeah.
a lot of compliments on,
He
Andy. I
is
got to
so
hand it
good.
to you
yes,
guys.
he kills it. We love you, Maddie.
Yeah.
So he designed a badass label. The concept was kind of like Wu-Tang Clan, but and also you remember the little homies
Yeah.
that they used to have in the
Yeah.
bin. It was like if we could make those root vegetables like little homies,
Characters.
characters.
Yeah.
Then he did such a cool job on that label, so I'm super excited.
Yeah, I
to
can't
put that
wait
out.
to put
That'll be
that
coming
out.
And
pretty
then
soon.
the other part was like Andy made a rap song and a rap video for this beer. And like I was super excited about that because I had never thought in a million years in my life that I would be going into work to pretend to be in a
rap
hardcore
video.
rap
Me too.
video. And
That was one of the
It's like going to be in
funnest-
black and white.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's so fun. I can't wait to put that rap video out.
I can't wait to do more of that stuff.
Yeah, me neither.
I was like, wow, these guys are letting me do this? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do more.
This is a
Gotta get that
creativity
drone working.
incubator, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to. So
Yeah.
that's the one I'm most excited about. I've got another one. I had mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
Vanilla sour. That's just an oat-based grain bill soured, and all I did was just add vanilla to it.
Yeah.
And it's still sitting on it.
What do you got, Paul? I see you writing stuff down over there.
No, I was just gonna say, as far as Shoe Tree news is, we are moving into wanting to put out a lot of media,
Right.
podcasts,
Right.
why
we're doing this.
series,
Yeah.
Tales from the Mash, and putting some really big focus on it and investing in it because it's
What
just
is it,
something that
field
we
tripping?
Yeah, field
Yeah,
tripping.
field
We
tripping.
got one
That's
on
my
Monday.
favorite.
2 days.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
So yeah.
Subscribe. Go ahead and click that subscribe button while you're at it.
We're just trying.
So we're just trying, but I think it's fun for us because it's something fun, creative
Yeah.
we can do to kind of break out from, the grind, and then hopefully gives people, just something to look forward to. Like
Yeah.
this is the beers we're putting out, but also we're hopefully putting out some really fun content
Yeah.
for people to have too.
Just like some insight too. It's like, okay, I'm in the tap room. I see Jeff. I see them brewing. I know nothing about it.
Yeah.
Like it's nice to kind
Yeah,
of
and you
just
guys will get
open
some
up.
guests. You guys will get some more exciting guests than me, probably.
Oh,
God,
yeah.
I hope so. Jesus.
I mean, God, yeah.
You guys know a couple guys I hear.
But just know this: any tips that the listener has on stuff that we're doing, because I'm flying at the seat of my pants here. Like I'm
Yeah.
just guessing on what to do and researching and
Mm-hmm.
cameras, microphones. Like I kind of know
Watch another
what I'm
podcast.
doing a little more than the regular man, but
Yeah,
we're
dude,
trying.
You got any ideas? Throw it in the comments.
Yeah.
If we can do a show out of it. If you want, if you want to learn how to make kombucha,
Yeah.
I can do a tutorial.
Oh,
on that.
I do.
You know,
And
what
I
mean?
want to learn how to make the root beer and
We
the
got a
other
show.
drinks.
We got some plans for
so
these,
our
for
number
these things.
one viewed video was the one chip challenge.
I know.
And so Bobby Mumbles
Man,
has
that
a show
sucked.
idea. He was
Tell you
talking
what,
about doing
that
the
sucked, and it was a
hot
bad
minute.
idea.
A hot minute with Bobby Mumbles, dude. And he's going to be
Killer.
trying out all the
killer
different
idea,
challenges, dude. All the hot things.
Oh God.
That was the worst
So I
day
can't wait
after
for
ever.
that. We're going to be trying lots of different shit.
gonna
Some
be-
stuff's going to suck. Some stuff's going to be cool.
Embrace the suck is what
yeah.
I hear.
Yeah, we're not the best, but we're looking to get more
Yeah,
comfortable.
But we
on-
are definitely not the worst.
No, we're not the
We're,
worst.
we're a cut
We
above
are
the
not the
rest.
worst.
But I'm a graphic designer, so I'm just kind of learning how to do video and learning how to do audio. So I think we're getting there.
Yeah.
But if you got like anybody has ideas, like even guests, or even if you're listening to this and you're like, hey, you should do this, or hey, can I come on and do this? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're open
If
to
you're-
ideas.
Shout us out on the
If
interwebs.
you're listening
you
to
know?
this and you happen to be a brewer in the area,
Yeah.
we would love to do a Tales
Yeah,
from the Mash.
Tales from the Mash.
We'll come to your place. You can come to ours. Whatever. So,
Yeah. Cool.
all right. So then I think that's gonna wrap it up.
Yeah. Do you
but-
guys have anything? Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say maybe once we wrap it up, we can just go through, get a little video of
Cheers.
some of the
Sure.
cooler stuff, or just pictures and splash them up.
Sure. Do you guys have anything to add? Like, I think this is cool for our first podcast, and we want to do this at least once a month, and it might turn into more, and maybe eventually we'll see if we can get more structured. But we're just going for it. And
Yeah.
saying
If you've
screw
got any
it,
questions about any of the beers, anything you want us to talk about, put it in the comments or hit us up on DM.
and the last thing, Rogan, we're coming for you, bro.
Yeah, you better watch your ass.
Big fan. Big fan.